Good afternoon. Today's topic is the employment-based sponsorship. What are the red flags when you want to sponsor someone related to this? When I say sponsor someone, so this video is for folks who are you want to sponsor an employee, someone who's a foreign national individual, someone who's born outside the United States. They could have been here um, with a student visa, OPT, which is typically people have that temporary work permit after they're graduated college or university. So, folks, thanks for joining the show. And as you join the show, please know that we do offer free 15-minute strategy session. It does not have any obligation, no strings attached to hire us like within 30 days or anything. We're really here to share information and make sure not only that you do the right thing, but you file documents, evidence correctly, because we hear a lot of bad stories, negative stories where people get their case denied. Maybe the lawyer didn't do what they were supposed to do, unfortunately. So that's why we're going these live shows to share information. Okay. So, but if you are interested in any of these type of strategy session, you're welcome to give us a call at the number right above. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, then for those folks on other platforms, it's 720-740-4247. And let's get down to it. So let me find here. So if you're trying to sponsor for residency and you're a company, or of course, if you're watching this, you could be the foreign national yourself. Now, some of you already have a knowledge base about this. And so, but if you don't, there's of course, you might need to watch some other videos that are on our channel so you get a more of an idea. But for those that are going through, for example, EB1, EB2, or EB3, it requires, unless you're doing self-petition, it requires a prevailing wage. Okay, so that's step number one. Now, prevailing wage, it's not exactly like minimum wage, but essentially it is the bottom. Okay, so you do have to pay, the company does have to pay amount above that. So we have heard of situations where, everything's gravy for like steps 1 through 4. And then when it gets to the petition or later on, or the adjustment of status, and they review the advertisements and the post and all that, and they see a wage lower than the prevailing wage, and you might see that in a state workforce posting, or maybe if you had put the salary on the newspaper ad, which you don't need to do that. But if they see that, then they're thinking, the government's thinking, oh, well, you're trying to attract other people, or basically, actually not other people, you're trying to dissuade others other than this specific applicant from applying, because why would they sign up for a job at a lower cost, basically, which that's what they say. Doesn't make sense, but that's something to know. And unfortunately, these days with Department of Labor, the step number one, boy, it takes about 4 to 5 months on average these days. It's been like that the last couple of years at least. So that's top thing you need to know, because that is the red flag. If you've gone through this entire process and then you see a wage lower than prevailing wage on any of those documentation, you really need to get it corrected when you can, which is the last moment would be during the advertisement posting recruitment phase, okay, which is before labor certification. But before I get into all that, again, I just want to into those weeds. That's not for this video. But if you enjoy the way we share content, please tap the screen, click the like button. I don't know if on LinkedIn you can do that. The second thing you need to be aware of as a red flag, really before you even get started with step number one, is especially because it seems to be a misconception that some people think that you have to, or misunderstanding, you could say, that employees, these foreign nationals, have to work for that company while being sponsored. And when that happens, that's fine, but it's not required. And number two is that the concern behind that is that I think most companies and really all the stakeholders involved with this, all the interested parties, think that, oh, okay, so if someone's working, I'm just make up a title here, but as a level 2 engineer, and that's the current job, job title, but what that person's being sponsored with for residency is also level 2 engineer. So I don't recommend that at all, because let's say that level 2 engineer job posting, job requirements or minimum requirements, let's say like 2 years experience, and that candidate, the foreign national or your current employee, already has at least 50% of that experience with your company, then that is a problem. Okay, so that's what we do in a strategy session. If not during, it's usually not during the like free consultation strategy session, but we definitely talk. We do mention it, but then we do definitely do that after you sign up and authorize our team, because we want to make sure that it could be a different job title, different requirements. Okay, and also the third thing along the lines of that is you can't customize it completely that it favors only the foreign national. Okay, it can be customized to the extent that it's still in line with industry standards. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right, you can't just say, oh, like if you look on the government websites and whatnot, these job resources, and you see, oh, for this, let's say like a senior engineer position, and it typically requires like 5 years experience, and there's just making everything up right now, but 5 year experience, but the person only has 2 years experience. You can't reduce it down that much. Okay, you have to find other creative ways to accommodate any kind of reduction, but you can't just say, oh well, just because this person's a great employee, great candidate, so oh, 0 years experience, no problem, just graduated, we're just going to reduce it down. And you wouldn't do that anyway for like a civil engineer type position, right? It'd be level 1 type position if it's someone a recent graduate. But I just want to share with you a drastic type of difference there where you can't just do that. All right, let's see here. So yeah, that was top three red flags that we usually like to share, because sometimes people the company or HR try to, or have started the process on their own and gone through like halfway, and then that's when they have the problems. And sometimes I hear about immigration lawyers do some mistakes too. So again, that's why I'm sharing information here, and hopefully you can avoid those problems to begin with. Okay, if you haven't started the process. All right, because these employment-based cases, unfortunately, take at least 2 years. And then if the foreign national is from China and India, then they even have a much longer backlog in the sense related to the visa bulletin. But that's it for another video. Alrighty. So that's it for LinkedIn, folks. If you, we're going to be on LinkedIn every Wednesday, and we're going to share similar information, but for other visa types as well. All right. So I'm going to see if I can hop off LinkedIn here. All right. Okay. I think I'm only on. All right. So happy to answer any questions. Hey, what's going on, Rich? Good afternoon, Anu. Nice to see y'all. All right. Hope y'all doing good. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Let's see. Thanks for joining. And again, if y'all enjoy our content, please tap the screen on TikTok and hit the hearts, and on Instagram and like and whatnot on Facebook and YouTube. And please subscribe and follow. All right. Appreciate it. I have no idea how the algorithm works, but that's what my team tells me to ask y'all to do, because honestly, for me, it gives me a little more motivation to go live every day to share information, or every weekday. All right. I don't think my family would like it if I go live every single day. All right. So I do see some questions on TikTok. Hi, Dahoon. Nice to see you from Vietnam. By the way, what do y'all think about this new Threads social media app? I have not joined it. I'm trying not to add another one to the plate. All right. So I see Secret ask, how long does USCIS take to send green card after 485 approval? Okay. Well, congratulations, Secret. Glad you got the residency, or your family member. I mean, typically it's about 2 weeks that we've seen at most. But I would say on average, right? But I say at most for us after approval. Sometimes we get it like the next couple days, the next week, which is pretty amazing. Um, it'd be nice if it was white glove service where they just hand deliver it, right? And make sure that, because I hear people like moving and whatnot, and they forget to forward their address with USPS, which you need to do. And also, always have a tip when there's a question. And also, the second thing is go online, Google search USCIS AR11 so that you update your address with USCIS. Now, this is, of course, if you're moving. Now, let's say, and this is after your interview, right? Because if you're about to move in 10 days, yeah, you need to make sure that USCIS has the right address. I would just, yeah, I remember right in the early part of the pandemic, we had a client that had moved. We did all that, and then USCIS still sent it to the original former address. So that's why, as soon as you know that you're going to move, when I say you're going to move, typically it means you signed the lease or you signed for a house or a mortgage. So it's a pretty significant event in your life, right? Especially a mortgage and the interest rates are high. You're going to remember that. So you should also, when that happens, then you should also remember to update USCIS. And also the court. If you have a case in court, you absolutely need to do that, because sometimes we do receive calls about people who did move and they didn't update the court, and it's gonna be very difficult to reopen your case when the judge ordered you to removed because they didn't know about the new court date. So and that happens. Sometimes judges change it, or the clerks, without your knowledge. Let's see here. So I'm happy to answer any questions. If you're just joined, you can or share experience. We always appreciate that, especially if you had an interview or if you've been delayed. I think knowledge is power. That's why another reason why we're here live. But in terms of case delays, a lot of people are unfortunately suffering it, for those who are abroad outside the United States. And not just for those who are waiting for an interview, but man, we've been getting a lot of calls of people who have already had the interview. That's at the consulate, embassy, or it's in the United States. Already had an interview, sometimes once, sometimes twice, and then still waiting. I hate to say this, but I think this is what's really going on. I mean, it's happened in our cases because when it was President Obama period, I remember we had direct access to the field office, and we were trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the client's case because we already had an interview. And I remember they wrote an email back. Eventually, it took a couple months, but they wrote back saying, "Oh, your client's file is stuck with another person's file that had the same name, same date of birth, same country of nationality." I said, "What are the chances of that? That's how you organize files? That makes no sense." And granted, that means everything's physical case file. So it's very unfortunate that your case delays is probably because of that kind of scenario. It's inefficient. They're not all electronic. I think they're trying to get better at that, fortunately. But yeah, shout out for Stray City. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? All right, you're Chino. I am Chino. You asked. You're close to 365 days in on 233 days. No decision yet on USCIS website. Chino, I am Chino. I don't remember what application you filed. Can you let us know? If it's a 485, and then did you have the interview already? That'd be useful information. I think you contacted us before. Hopefully we were able to point you in the right direction. But thanks for joining here. I-130, okay. That's right. It was petition only. Your significant other is abroad. Yeah, that's true. You're close. What's my math? Both of my phones are being used right now. What's two? Some of y'all are better at math than I am, which is great. What's 233 divided by 30 days, roughly? Let's see. 7, almost 8 months. I would say, unfortunately, that's without looking at the USCIS timetable or processing time schedule. I would say that's about normal right now for petition only. I am Chino. You might have heard of me and other lawyers talk about the cases are being processed faster for decision. Those at least are specific to marriage cases where the beneficiary, the loved one, is in the United States. Okay. So we get cases approved average 3 months these days for new cases filed in early 2023, which is great. But I know some of y'all are frustrated because me may have filed like November 2022, and you're like, why didn't it count me? Or earlier, right? You filed earlier than that. So it's very unfortunate, and the government is really delaying a lot of people, unfortunately. I need to, now that I'm going live more often and longer, I need to turn off my, I need to extend my time on this iPhone focus, social media focus thing. No interview. Okay, only on with 30. Yeah. I know, I need to be better at math. My highest, what was my highest math class? Pre-cal? I think it was pre-cal. So I gotta know basic math. Can you sue? Man, it's so suing. Thanks for asking. Suing is what we have to consider unreasonable delay. So I joke around and say like, yeah, if you file last month, we can't sue. But yeah, for petition only, I'd probably wait at least. You're not gonna like this answer, but at least 12 to 14 months. Okay, because we don't want to. I mean, I don't mind suing. I love it, but any person would be disappointed if I come back to you because U.S. attorney came back to me and said, "Look, John, y'all filed a little too early." Unfortunately, I never had anyone tell me that. We try to really, we had created our own chart, essentially sharing with colleagues on this. Hey, what's up, Sophie on TikTok? Shout out to you. A year and some change. Yeah, so about 12 months, 12 to 14 months. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. But you're always welcome to reach back on Instagram, or I think you have our email, so you can email us back. Because whatever I say now could change. It's just like these waiver cases. There's a class action lawsuit for that. I believe it's in California. And there's some chatter that the judge and U.S. attorneys are trying to say, no, can't have a class. Well, you can't have a class action, but they don't want to speed up cases, unfortunately. And y'all will be super frustrated. Oh my gosh. I just checked last week about waiver processing time schedule for waivers, 40 months minimum. So it's very, very ridiculous. And normally you don't have to wait. I would say if it is an individual case, not a class action, they'll work with it. Okay. The U.S. attorneys will find a way to help you out. All right. And us, of course, as a team. Normally we're not a team, but in this situation, U.S. attorneys don't really want to work on these immigration cases. So they just put us in, they just try to help liaison with USCIS. It's almost as if we have a direct email access, but we don't, to the point of contact with USCIS or the consulate. It just speeds up that negotiation, as you could say, one would say. But yeah, typically it doesn't require a judge to make a decision or anything. That's really only if it's really contested in that situation. But your attorney, whether it's our team or someone else, can assess that situation, just like I am Chino just asked. Let's see here. Well, that is interesting. Someone called me bisexual, but I assure you I'm not. Some interesting comments on TikTok, more so than Instagram. Coretta, yeah, okay, thanks, Willow. Coretta, you say, are you employment? I think you're asking, do we accept employment, family unification, or humanitarian parole cases? We actually don't accept humanitarian parole cases, but we do have attorneys. We do know of attorneys that do accept those cases. We love to help people, of course. That's our mission, to help people live and work in America with legal status. But there are some cases that, humanitarian parole, it does require going into the online system in 131, and which I believe they call it, the USCIS calls it supporters. not really technically sponsor, but most people use the word sponsor. Um, oh, which one we handle? Yeah, we handle employment based, handle family based for individuals. But employment based, we help with that, and also investors. So investor visa, it's called investor visa. It's also referred to as like trader visa, just because that's how they called it through Congress in terms of like the list of countries that are eligible for it, E1 or E2. But I like to consider the investor visa essentially like, um, oh shoot, ignore limit for today. Okay, hopefully that went away. Am I back live? Okay, looks like I'm back live. Okay, well, Coretta asked what areas of law we practice within immigration, family based for individuals. And I was saying investor visa, I like to associate that with business owners essentially. Um, you have to be involved with the business. It could be still passive in a way, but doesn't mean you're not going to be the one answering the phones essentially. We do accept some removal cases, very limited removal cases these days, more so just because inherently because we accept clients all over the world and across the United States, all 50 states of America. It's just difficult to fly, and we feel bad charging money for flying to another state. So, but even if you're in a different state, I'm in Texas, Houston, Texas right now. I have colleagues in Houston, Dallas, and other cities. So if you have a removal case and it requires more in-depth representation, not just motion to dismiss, we do help with motion dismiss through prosecutorial discretion. Uh, so that those are for folks who have removal cases. Basically, you have immigration court hearing. But we accept those across the country. But yeah, if you need a person, an attorney in person for court, we can find you an attorney. But of course, for any case, for any of y'all that need help with not just immigration, but could be a different area of law, let's say criminal defense, could be for a good thing, could be for like, or good thing, a positive thing. Let's say a proactive instead of reactive, like estate planning, creating will or trust, and you're in a different state. We're happy to refer you to others. It may take a couple of days to get back to you on that, but we're happy to help you. Oh, that's cool. Some of y'all really hitting that screen. I appreciate that on TikTok because I got to 1,000 likes. Okay, that's cool. Coretta, you're going JAG, then get in politics and with international trade. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my degree at University of North Texas for bachelor's, um, that was international business, and most of my class were politics, political science, not politics. One of my favorite classes, if y'all are interested, behind the scenes about me. Whoa, what's on my camera? Sorry, y'all on YouTube. This is a little okay. All right, that cleared up. Yeah, one of the classes, political science, talked about Kenya, the genocide in Kenya. So that was very very unfortunate to learn about the genocide in Kenya, and apparently a lot more activities ongoing that's similar right now. So if y'all are interested in not just politics, but at least what's going on in other countries, take a look at what's going on in Kenya, and I believe Haiti as well. Yeah, I wish I had more time to learn what's going on with other countries. That's just like, of course, if I didn't have to worry about money or my team. Let's see, Emily, you've asked a question. Thanks for your question. Emily, you ask, what timeline is my office seeing for I-140 Ave, Nebraska Service Center? You know it's 6 months, but some might go faster, right? Well, you want to check if you're eligible for the premium processing. I know it's more money, but if you've been waiting, okay, Gmod, I'll take a look at your question. Sorry, I may have missed it. If you've been waiting for a while, yeah, it just depends. Depends on your budget. But yeah, when we file for premium processing, if anyone's gone to Disney World, Disneyland, it used to be called Rapid Pass. That's how I consider it with USCIS premium processing. It's you can get a decision. Excuse me. I keep telling myself I need to get some water. If this is a full production studio, I could have someone give me some water right now, but that's not the case. This is low budget, y'all. I was gonna say, yeah, premium processing is 2,500 USD. But yeah, you can get the RF. It's not. It could be it's either a decision or request for evidence. And the decision, if it's going to be a decision, usually it's going to be approval, because if before you get a what do you call it, denial, they typically will give you a RFE. Okay, so because they need more evidence, things like that. And shoot, y'all, they give people a hard time. We filed one for a dentist, for H1B. I mean, there's not perm, but for H1B dentist already got approved, and the changed employers. So we filed again. Of course, there's a policy memo that says, okay, whatever got approved in the past, you can't use that, like basically to get it automatically approved, even though you have to apply anyway. And they asked if, basically prove to us that being a dentist is a specialty occupation. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, and of course we we definitely responded to it and got approved. Yeah, it's just very frustrating to ask these silly questions. Grow that stash out. Yeah, we're gonna definitely in the pandemic, but it looks like a mess. So, um, yeah, I don't know. East Asians tend to have a longer time to get the facial hair here. Emily, fastest would be without premium processing. I can't tell you. I don't have that data with me, but my system could probably figure it out. But yeah, even when we ask for premium processing, it could be we've received usually RFE or decision in like 8 days. It's pretty nuts. So that's great. And the great thing about premium processing is that we can contact um, the what's it called, USCIS Premium Processing Office by email. I know that's nuts. But so there is more benefit than you would think with premium processing, especially if like you somehow lose your receipt notice or approval notice or didn't get in the mail. But if that happens, and you didn't get your approval notice, but online it shows it, or at least a decision notice, you definitely want to email the premium process office as ASAP. Right. Yeah. I agree with you, Emily. If you're PD and it's not current, then there's no point. Um, let's see. Gmod, thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. Love to love to answer questions, because otherwise it's all in here. And of course, I'm trying to write it down so the team knows everything that we talk about in these live shows. I feel like we're kind of in a lounge. That's what I love to create one day. Create like a lounge. Y'all can come visit us in Houston. Gmod, I didn't see a question. Did I miss it? Gmod Wayne, you said to answer your question above, but I don't see it. Maybe you can retype it again, okay? You're on Insta. Chino, you ask, is having a baby with a foreigner make the I-130 case better to get approved? Absolutely not. No, no, no. Don't get a baby because you want an I-130 approved faster. No, no, no. Don't fall into that trap. Do not do that. When people get a RFE for 485, then yeah, on the first like list of evidence they're like asking for, the standard unfortunately is like, if you have a baby, if you have a child, give us the birth certificate. Obviously, I would give you the birth certificate if we had a kid together, but that is absolutely not required to get any application approved. Typically, I am Chino, the I-130 is to prove that you are in a marriage relationship. So if it were to be denied, it's not based on like children or like a bank account or anything like that. It's actually more about if someone has been married before and then got divorced. Because in fact, there are people who think they got divorced. Maybe the divorce case was filed, and maybe the spouse told them, "Oh yeah, no problem, I took care of it. It's all done." But that was like a whole white lie, I guess. I don't know. They just want to just get that other spouse off their back, probably. But yeah, because you need to provide a copy of the divorce order. So this is one of those situations. If it was if it was what's it called, petition only, because they're trying to prove just family relationship, it really should be rubber stamped. Okay, I don't know if this is the right signal, but this is a stamp. Yeah, it shouldn't take that long. Okay, folks. So I'm trying to get adjusted here because I have like 3 cameras right in front of my face. So sorry if y'all see my ear to the side. Still trying to figure this out. Let's see here. Hey, notification. I thought I banned you, buddy. I have to report you. I guess this. Come on, TikTok. If you work for TikTok, I think one of our clients actually works for affiliation of TikTok, if not the main company. If anyone works for TikTok or y'all know how to do this, but these like notification users keeps popping up, trying to freak people out. Yeah, thanks, Willow. You said the more I go live, the more it will grow and pop up for people's For You page. Yeah, I mean, I've even known that's true. I've even known other attorneys join our page and love to go live with other attorneys as well, even if it's not immigration, so we can share more information with y'all. You say you're moving to Texas in January. Does our team offer internships? We do. We have. It may depend on the skill set we're looking for at the time. So, yeah, you're welcome to send in your resume. We'll take a look. Okay. But honestly, managing the team is a lot of work. So, just depends on the growth period of the law firm at the time. But yeah, we're happy to consider it. Okay, Willow, appreciate it. Texas, honestly, you don't have to be in Texas to be an intern, but it would be easier. It would be easier if our future interns were in Houston, just because there are some things that need to be done, I guess, stuff in the office. So I don't know how some people do it when it's just completely virtual. We still have an office. It's we do have a team there. And yeah, some clients are old school. They want to drop off documents as opposed to uploading it to Dropbox. So we keep it easy for y'all. We use Dropbox for you. Retype the question. I don't know, Gmod. I don't see your question. I don't know what happened. It didn't pop up, but I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's better. Does anyone else see Gmod's question on Insta? Can anyone else copy and paste? Maybe it's just not letting him, even though he can comment otherwise. That's weird. Oh, you may have clicked on... No questions over there. Okay. Diego, can I help your uncle? Maybe. I don't know. We need more information. So, by the way, this is a good time for me to ask y'all. Shoot, I need to check if one of my clients emailed back. Because I asked the client to meet with me at 12:30. It's actually 12:37, but that person did not confirm. One moment, please. Yeah, fill out the form. Go to greencardguys.com. Go to contact page. Click on the first option to verify your eligibility, or have your uncle do that and answer a few questions, and we can help you. Okay, I see more questions, so I'm going to answer it as fast as I can. Sorry, I talk a lot, so I like to over-explain. I hope y'all appreciate that. So yeah, I have a question, and I didn't get to you yet. I apologize if I don't get to you because maybe I have to jump off soon for a meeting. Please fill out the form on our website. Again, this is for a mini strategy session for 15 minutes. One of our CARES team members will call you within 24 hours of business day. They really try because we do get a lot of calls. When you fill out that form, and I don't think it's too long. It's just really helps save you all time, honestly, and our team time. But it helps us understand your case much more expeditiously, I guess you could say. But and see if there's a way we can help, because sometimes people fill out the form and then we see it and it's not a service that we can help with. So we try to let people know as soon as possible. So we're pretty quick. We'll call you within 24 hours of a business day. We don't call on Sundays. Let's see. Okay, to Gmail. Okay, 512 with minor typo. Is it safe to travel? I think you asked this the other day. Maybe you weren't. You hopped off when you asked it, but we do. I think, what did I say? If you haven't been arrested, I can't give you legal advice. This, by the way, this is all disclaimer here. I can't give legal advice. I know you can probably consider this, but it's legal information, know your rights type information. If you want case specific advice that you're going to rely on, you really do need a scheduled consultation. Okay. But I can give you general advice that if a person who wants to travel outside the United States and you have overstayed your visa, then you need to have Advanced Pro. So that's the 512. Then you also need to make sure you don't have any arrests or crimes. If you have a crime, criminal history, you need to speak with a lawyer to make sure it's not a type of crime that would render you or trigger an inadmissibility ground. And that also, with the minor typo on the 512. Now I get it. I don't know what the minor typo is. If it's a name, you definitely need to get that corrected first. But check the approval notice. Okay, you need to have, if you're going to rely on the approval notice instead of the card itself, then and if everything's correct on approval notice, I know. See, USCIS is ridiculous. If something's correct on approval notice or receipt notice, but not on the card, it's a clerical error, and they need to fix it. So you want to go to the tools and resources page, submit inquiry with USCIS. Okay, on USCIS.gov. Middle name. Well, hopefully it's correct on approval notice. I can't tell you. I can't tell you because we haven't had that scenario before. Unfortunately, it's not like we have a list of all these immigration problems, and this is one of those that's, I've never had this question, so I don't know how to answer that. I think if you want the safe route and you don't have to travel too soon, then submit inquiry and get that corrected. And unfortunately, when you get it corrected or submit it, of course, you have to mail back your card, and then it doesn't mean they're going to get it back to you next month. So it depends how urgent your travel is, I suppose. But at least they have the first and last name correct. Yeah, it's super frustrating. These are clerical errors on the government side, and you still have to wait. Okay, let me switch back over to YouTube here for some questions. You're welcome, Robin. Good morning, TE. TE, your question is 485 is pending for interview for 4 years based on approved VAWA. Okay, sorry, I trying to do like a million things at once. Appreciate it. Just had to respond to my team. Okay, so 45 pending for the interview for 4 years. Yeah, I think you asked that the other day. You may have hopped off. Is this based on abuse by a U.S. citizen spouse? Yeah, I mean, probably. Then you don't need 4 years. That's super frustrating. Sorry, I just get a little animated when I hear things like this. But hopefully, TE, hopefully you're not delayed on the visa bulletin. Otherwise, you would not have filed the 485. But yeah, if this is based on spouse, then you say 12 okay. Let me skip to your last comment. And if you do inquiry, they don't answer for years, three times. Yeah, so this might be a situation that you call in or answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Click on Contact Us page. Maybe you want to file a lawsuit, okay? But we want to, before I just say yes, we can file a lawsuit, I need to make sure I understand all the facts of your case. But yeah, typically if it has been Yeah, you may want to file a mandamus lawsuit. Is my first suggestion right now. And of course, we can help with that. That's what we love to do. So yeah, fill out the form or give us a call. Okay, you're on YouTube, so you can see the phone number. We also have another website that's easier to get to if someone's driving. Some people are driving and watch our show, so I've heard that. That's pretty nuts. Please be safe. Don't drink and drive, but also don't join the live show while driving. Please be safe. Let's see. Sorry, I know there's a lot of comments and questions. I'm getting to as soon as I can. Thanks for your patience. Folcom TE, I hope I answered your question. Folcom Ford, still waiting on your decision for the asylum interview decision since March 2022. Another holy hell type situation. This is taking too long. Okay, here's the deal. Folcom, anyone who's applied for asylum, whether you've had the interview or not, you really need to consider filing a lawsuit, mandamus. Of course, we're happy to help you. It's our honor to help you. I need to charge my phone. It's very important that you get this taken care of because, especially with asylum, your claim of fear or your persecution, your story of persecution or future persecution is highly contingent on the country conditions. So if the country conditions change, it's going to be much harder to get your case approved. A very easier example that I think most people know is that China used to have the one-child policy, so people fled from China to America and claimed fear based on a one-child policy because they had more than one kid. Well, I think it was 2016 that China got rid of it, got rid of that policy. So apparently, you can have more than one child. Is that really true? I don't know, but that's what they show, at least online. So with that being said, just on one example, you got to file a lawsuit. Okay. Now, look, Folcom, if you had said it was July now, but you say like, oh, March 2023, you had an interview. Then I would say maybe wait a couple months for your decision, because typically, even when we file a lawsuit and people get the interview or don't need an interview but just need a decision, but let's say people do need an interview, then we negotiate with U.S. attorneys saying, we wanted to write it down, an agreement on paper that we get your decision in 120 days. So that's about 4 months. In my opinion, that's too long, but that's been the middle ground with the U.S. attorneys. Okay. How should you ask about your 485? You don't ask. You can't submit inquiry. Like that's what you said, right? That's what you've found on the tools processing timetable. Which, by the way, if y'all don't know, you go to uscs.gov on the very bottom. After you input like where your case located, what form number, on the bottom you can enter your receipt date, and then I'll tell you when you can submit inquiry. So especially if you can't even submit inquiry, the fact that you can't submit inquiry does not mean that you can't file a lawsuit. Isn't that kind of crazy? They want you to go through the strenuous process. Actually, it's not strenuous. It's easy for us, but for y'all, some of y'all think it's very strenuous, but it's not. Okay. If you qualify what we call unreasonable delay, if you don't even know and you want us to evaluate, fill out the form or answer, give us a call. Okay. The people that answer the phone or call you as a CARES team specialist, they're not lawyers, but we train them to understand some information because you might not need to talk with a lawyer, with one of our attorneys. Okay. Robin, I saw your question. Sorry, I had to complete a couple of those. You recently, 4 years pending is a long time. I would probably consider that unreasonable delay. Well, I mean, I do consider that unreasonable delay. Sorry, I realize my mic is kind of far. Okay, I'll bring it up closer. Robin, finally got to your question. Thanks for your patience. You recently got BF valid till 2027. Okay, that's great. Went to DPS. Went to DPS, get your DL, and they gave you valid for 1 year only, but is supposed to be valid till validity of your BFD EAD. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think I answered that question too the other day. You may have hopped off. Or maybe someone else asked. That's by state, right? So whatever happens on the federal law for the duration of the card, the state of Texas or whichever state you're in could have different rules. So you might want to, verify that with the DPS website, okay? With whichever state you're in. I don't know. I can't recall. I need a team member to take a look at it. It's really mostly because it's not immigration related. I mean, kind of, yeah. But I I have a feeling. This just goes on a feeling without reading anything that maybe they do it valid for 1 year at a time for people who don't technically have status right now. So because BFD is not technically status, it's just to get you the EAD temporarily. Okay, so hopefully it helps. Okay, TikTok. Thanks for following. I know y'all have some questions here. Okay, back to your uncle Diego. God's lantern. I have no idea. I don't have. I think we need to show a lot of humanity, express empathy, especially on social media. It's a tough world out there. Y'all be careful. Save your mental health. If you don't see me posting videos for a while, it's because I need a break from social media. It's, as you can imagine, it's a lot of work. Diego, your uncle came to U.S. illegally, got deported for bringing. Oh, Coco, I see what you're saying. Can he maybe come back? Yeah, that's gonna be difficult. Gonna be difficult. Um, Hopefully he's eligible for a waiver, but he also needs a family relative that can file a petition for him. And it's not just any relative, right? It can't be like maybe it's a brother or sister, but you know, if your uncle is from Mexico, China, India, or Philippines, it's a longer wait time for family preference. Um, so that kind of give you an idea. And even if, let's say, even if he has a adult child that can file for him, unfortunately, children, even adult or minor, are not considered qualifying relatives for certain waivers. For most scenarios, are not considered qualifying relatives. So, need to have a spouse or parent who has status, resident or U.S. citizen. But yeah, your uncle's welcome to answer our form of schedule appointment to just verify a few things. But by the way, folks, if you have a past case um, or case in the past, got a decision on it, whether it's USCIS, State Department, or through the court, and you want to schedule a meeting with us, we're happy to go evaluate your case eligibility wise. But we also really prefer looking at not the whole case file, but at least a denial letter or receipt notice if that's the most recent document you received, just something so it gives us verification of your situation. Because some people they have the meeting with us and they really don't know that much information about the case, which I guess would not be as surprising if the case was denied. Sometimes that happens. So that's why we're here to help you all out. Willow, how many years did I go to college? 3.5. I took what do you call those? Wintermester, Maymester. I don't know if they still have that, but I did that at community college just to get done, with college. So 3.5. I did not take any AP classes, nothing like that. I was not an overachiever to do that. But if y'all are overachievers, congratulations to y'all. I just did not want that extra work. Unfortunately, my parents didn't force me to, like tiger parents, go higher level in terms of high school education. I really appreciate them not forcing me to do that. Let's see here. Why can't your dad, Cornelius Cruz, why can't your dad renew his license? I have no idea your dad's situation. Maybe you commented earlier. Let's see. Jakuta, am I California? No, we have a physical office. I would love to be in California, but it's hella expensive to live over there. I don't know how y'all do it. It's getting more expensive in Texas. Hey, by the way, I know, strange question, but how much are eggs in your area? My team members always joke around with these fun questions. How much are eggs? I mean, this is not a fun question. This is serious business. These eggs are like 2 eggs from like a couple years ago. TE, it's likely to file a lawsuit. Mandamus. I thought you heard my suggestion before, but yeah, file mandamus lawsuit. That is my suggestion. If you want our help, you need to fill out the form on our website or give us a call. Judges will appreciate that when you have a lawyer in hand, especially for mandamus cases. Thanks, Willow. Appreciate that. Thanks for the assistance on there. Fernanda, has there been any changes on USCIS specific to what? What's your case type? What'd you file? $5 at Walmart, sometimes for 12. I don't know what you're referring to, Anu. Um, there have been, I would say, a lot of changes with USCIS. But need to know what you're asking about specifically. Random King, what's up with that new My Progress? Yeah, the USCIS, it appears on the website like really nice and fancy, but it's still a bunch of bullshit. I mean, to be honest, excuse my French. Um, like I just tried to call USCIS earlier to get expedite requests, and it's just a yeah. I mean, they say it's supposed to be better. We'll see. I'll like record like on YouTube and whatnot a more thorough analysis other than just saying it's BS. But yeah, excuse my French. If what I'm looking for is if they make cases faster for y'all, not just marriage cases, like for those folks that asked earlier. Let's see here. You asked about Fernando. You asked about 601A. Ooh, yeah, that. Oh yeah, yeah. At eggs, yeah, $5. You're right. I even forgot what I asked. $5 for eggs. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. Yeah, yeah, non-organic. Yeah, $5. Yeah, that's like 2x. Um, I was gonna say 601A. So yeah, I was checking online. Let's see here. I gotta hop off in a couple minutes, but I'm trying to answer all y'all's questions. Love to do that. Y'all are not gonna like this, but I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube and Facebook, or at least YouTube. Okay, let me share my screen here. I'm looking for the 601 for Fernanda, 601A specifically. Okay. By the way, Anu, are you outside America? I think you are, based on your comment from yesterday. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm sharing YouTube. If you're on Insta or TikTok, you're wondering what I'm sharing, I'm going to explain it, do a play-by-play here, but you can go to greencardguys.tv and I'll show you what I'm sharing. So I'm clicking on the form number 601A is what you asked about, Fernanda. Okay, I'm typing the location. Which location are you at? Nebraska Service Center or Potomac? Do you know? $6. I think you said you're Cali. $6. That's ridiculous. For a dozen, a doozy. 44. Oh, you're not gonna like this, Fernanda, or anyone else that has a waiver case 601A. 44 months at Nebraska Service Center. And let's see. Let me click a different service center. Potomac Service Center also says 44 months. Now, just a couple weeks ago, it was saying 36 months ish. So yeah, I'm telling you, they got someone in the inside just messing with their minds, just typing like, let's do 42 months, 44. Like when you are considering to file a lawsuit, it doesn't matter what it shows on the USCIS time schedule. U.S. attorney is not going to say, yo, I just looked at the processing time schedule. If they do and they refer to that, that means they don't have experience with these type of cases. Because at least immigration lawyers, we all know that before the pandemic, at least our case experience, it took about average 8 months to get a decision after you filed it. So 8 months to 44 months, a bunch of BS. So if you have a case, I would say that's been at least 12 months processing. I would say that already by 12 months, that's already unreasonable delay for a waiver case. So much is being held up because of this waiting on this waiver decision, right? Obviously for the resident status, but practically speaking, you're not able to get your interview scheduled abroad. So that needs to be done. So for those folks who are not familiar with 601A, this waiver is for unlawful presence. So even if you entered America with a visa, I'm sorry, it could be, but typically it's for people who entered without a visa. Because if you entered a visa and you get married to a U.S. citizen, then you're eligible to stay here for for the interview, or so these days, 2023, they don't require an interview for most people. Let's see here. Okay, so I think did I answer all y'all's questions? I hope so. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Half a box, Anu saying, half a box at Walmart is under $1 if the egg supply is good. Oh, that's an Indian price. By the way, folks, if you're on a different country or have experience living in a different country, let me know what y'all think about the food. Like, I don't know, other countries might not even have canned food. Every time I went to, especially Europe, maybe I didn't pay attention. We like to go to the grocery stores and I haven't noticed canned food. Is that just a US thing? TE on YouTube, should you ask from USCIS or request from lawyer for the mandamus lawsuit? It'd be a separate. So if you have a current lawyer, you can ask them if they help with mandamus. But we don't like to step on anyone's toes. But kindly ask them if they handle mandamus cases. But don't be surprised, because mandamus lawsuit is a separate service, so they likely will charge you extra or separate fee for that. It's a completely different service. So that's not technically part of, it's a federal lawsuit. You don't have to appear in court. So that's a good thing. Like 99.9% people don't have to appear in court for that. Okay. So, but otherwise, if you're not comfortable with your current lawyer to handle mandamus, we're happy to take a look at it. But that's really the action plan for you. Okay. USCIS inquiry won't do anything for you right now, unfortunately. You can try, but I think you said it wouldn't let you do it. Sorry if I missed your question, or anyone else. Ashti DS5535, it's been over 5 months. What should you do? And yeah, I think you mean you responded to it. Yeah. I'm assuming you already had at least 5 months on AP. I would say it's already what we call unreasonable delay. I mean, some lawyers like to wait longer, much longer, but that's up to you. We love suing for the right reasons, of course. We don't sue for no reason. So if you're interested, we'll also help you with mandamus sooner than later, because I know just a lot of people are waiting a long time. Christian Rodriguez, you answer you now. I don't think I saw a question from you. Can you retype your question? Sorry, this phone screen is small, so I got to scroll up and down. I didn't see a question from you. Yeah, seriously, I'm running 3 live streams. I can see why people say I don't, but thanks for sharing my live. El Mas Peron. You got court because you got 5 kilos on your car. What's the best option for you? I'm just going to assume that's a hypothetical. Try not to mention things like that on social media. I mean, but I get it. But yeah, you definitely want to have a criminal defense lawyer if your case is still pending on the criminal case. Make sure they can get a reduced charge on that before immigration. But assuming that you already got completed with the criminal court case, then you definitely want to speak with a immigration lawyer one-on-one about that. That's not one I can answer hypothetically on a live show, unfortunately. Willow says small town in Indiana is $6. Oh, it's not even Cali. That is nuts. And what is my FOV? What is that? Okay, well, folks on TikTok are love to ask more questions than Instagram. So that might mean something about Instagram doesn't know anything about the algorithm, but TikTok for sure does, and YouTube is getting better about this. Anu says canned food and the food with preservatives, yeah, existed 10 years back. Same thing as Indian stores in the U.S. Haven't checked for frozen food yet. No supermarket around yet. But Vaseline, body lotion, basic Walmart type cold creams are almost the same as U.S. Interesting. Yeah, I'm always interested about how food is in other countries. Instagram is about to cut me off in 8 seconds. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful week. I'll be on live tomorrow for hopefully 30 minutes. All right. Y'all have a good day. Take care now. Bye bye. Oh, thanks, Willow. Appreciate it.